Martha's Vineyard, main streets and back roads. Chronicle tonight. From Boston's news leader, this is WCVB NewsCenter 5 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Erika Tarantal.
And I'm Reimer. Here's a look at the stories that are happening right now.
We begin with breaking news. A convicted sex offender just facing a judge. He's accused of attacking an Arlington woman in her own home.
The cousin of former Patriots player Hernandez back in court. Her plea in connection with one of the 3 murders he's charged with.
We could learn more this afternoon about what caused that deadly plane crash at Hanscom Airfield. The new equipment just brought to the scene. But now back to our breaking news. That convicted sex offender under arrest after a disturbing and brutal attack. A woman seriously injured after a break-in and assault.
NewsCenter 5's Todd Kaskiewicz is live at Cambridge District Court, where that suspect just faced a judge. Todd.
That arraignment happening just moments ago, and we can tell you that the defendant, this level 3 sex offender, has been ordered held without bail until a dangerousness hearing, which will happen here on Friday. And because of the sensitive nature of this case, not many new details came out in court, but we can tell you that Team 5 Investigates has learned that this defendant, who's from Boston, was in Arlington, apparently visiting family when this attack allegedly happened. We also have learned that the friend of the victim apparently was calling repeatedly. And at one point during the attack, the defendant told the victim to answer the phone. Well, that friend realized that something was wrong and called police.
45-year-old Essie Billingsley, a level 3 sex offender, is now accused of a brutal home invasion and assault that could have him committed indefinitely. Arlington police were called Sunday night to do a well-being check at a home. When they arrived, they say Billingsley was running out the back door.
The Arlington officers were able to tackle the suspect and detain him while we dispatched other officers back to the scene to see what exactly he was fleeing from.
Officers soon found out that a woman in the home had been beaten and sexually assaulted. She was rushed to the hospital, and so was Billingsley for an unrelated medical issue. This morning, he was taken to the Arlington police station to be booked, then driven to court for his arraignment. Police are still investigating the attack, which appears to be random.
We're investigating the possibility that this suspect may have had family members living in the neighborhood.
And so the Billingsley is now facing a series of charges, of course, the most serious of which aggravated rape, kidnapping, home invasion, assault and battery, and armed assault with a knife. Again, he'll have a dangerousness hearing here on Friday. Until then, he's being held without bail. And last check, the victim still recovering in the hospital. Reporting live from Cambridge District Court in Medford, Todd Kaskiewicz, WCVB NewsCenter 5.
All right, Todd, thank you. The cousin of former Patriots player Hernandez pleads not guilty to withholding information in the investigation into one of the 3 murders Hernandez is charged with. Tanya Singleton was arraigned for criminal contempt of court this morning. She refused to testify about the car that prosecutors say Hernandez was in when he shot and killed 2 men outside a Boston nightclub in 2012. Singleton is also facing an accessory charge in the Hernandez murder case involving the death of Odin Lloyd. She remains under house arrest. Singleton, who is being treated for breast cancer, is allowed to go to medical appointments.
In federal court at this hour, a young man linked to the surviving Boston Marathon bombing suspect, Dias Kaderbayev, a college friend of Johar Tsarnaev, is in court in Boston at a hearing. His lawyers are arguing their client was not proficient enough in English to understand his Miranda rights. Kaderbayev is one of 2 men accused of trying to get rid of evidence after the bombings. A 3rd man is accused of lying to investigators.
Another man accused of lying to investigators in the aftermath of the marathon bombings could be granted bail this week. The Herald reports Khairulazan Matanov's lawyer will make the case before a judge on Wednesday. The 23-year-old cab driver was friends with accused bombers Tamerlan and Johar Tsarnaev. Team 5 Investigates was there capturing exclusive video as Matanov was brought from his home in Quincy on Friday. The native of Kyrgyzstan faces charges of destroying information in an investigation. In just a short time, news crews will be allowed to the site of that deadly plane crash at Hanscom Airfield, and the National Transportation Safety Board will be holding another briefing that may shed some light on the Saturday night crash that killed 7 people.
NewsCenter 5's Kimberly Bookman is live in Bedford with the latest. Kimberly?
Well, Erika and Emily, I can tell you within the last hour, we saw a large crane come in here to the runway over to that crash site, likely to pick up the pieces and start the investigation. Now, Sky 5 flew over the wreckage to kind of give us a scene of what they're dealing with.
From the sky, it's clear there's little left of this Gulfstream 4. The nose and tail are about all you can make out among the wreckage. The entire fuselage burnt. The wings likely at the bottom of the gully where the plane crashed some 2,000 feet beyond the runway. Monday morning, crews from the National Transportation Safety Board, Massport, along with local police and fire, drove back to the site in hopes of retrieving the flight and data recorders from the jet. They are also collecting video of the crash and talking to witnesses to understand why this plane never even left the runway at Hanscom, crashed and exploded into fire.
Possibilities range from catastrophic engine failure, hydraulic failure, hitting something on the runway. 7 people died in this crash, 4 passengers, 2 pilots, 1 crew member. Medical examiners removed their bodies Sunday night. Meantime, the airport is operational, other planes taking off since 7 Sunday night.
And we are still waiting to find out the identities of 3 of those victims. One of the identities of the victims is Louis Katz. We understand he is holding a memorial service on Wednesday in Philadelphia. In the meantime, there will be an update from the NTSB later this afternoon. Reporting live from Bedford, Kimberly Bookman, WCVB News Center 5.
Kimberly, thank you. We do know the identities of all 4 passengers who were on that plane. One of them was a billionaire newspaper owner. We're told he and the other passengers were all passionate about improving the lives of young people. They were in Massachusetts for an education event at the Concord home of Richard and Doris Kearns Goodwin. 72-year-old Louis Katz was co-owner of the Philadelphia Inquirer and Daily News newspapers, as well as Philly.com. He was once a part owner of the New Jersey Devils hockey team and the New Jersey Nets basketball team.
He was a businessman, he was a philanthropist, and a great family guy.
74-year-old Ann Leeds was also killed. The retired school teacher was a mother and a grandmother. 68-year-old Susan Aspel was active in the Boys and Girls Club and was a mother of 2. And 59-year-old Marcella Dalsey led the Drew A. Katz Foundation and the Katz Academy Charter School. She was a mother of 4. 3 crew members were also killed. Their names have not yet been released.
Taking a live look now, a glorious day over Boston on Monday. Cindy's been telling us meteorological summer started yesterday. So far, it looks pretty good.
It certainly feels like real summer. I guess this is kind of real summer, Cindy.
It all depends on how you ask, right? Close your eyes and you wouldn't know the difference anyway. Yeah, it's really nice out there. And we're going to enjoy nice dry weather for the next couple of days. But I'm watching this next batch of moisture here forming in a line just north and west of the Chicago area. This is a frontal boundary, and this is one that's going to be crossing our area and bringing us our next shot at wet weather for the middle of the week. Between now and then, we've got glorious high pressure giving us a beautiful day with lots of sunshine and a bit of westerly breeze, so it's warmed up out there. Already 80 Nashua, 80 Fitchburg. Look at Boston, 77. Got some lower 70s on Cape Cod, and that's about where the temperatures are going to stay on the Cape through the afternoon with that wind coming in off the water. We're going to keep the temperatures in the lower 70s for the most part on the Cape through the rest of the afternoon, but inland spots likely gaining a few more degrees, going as warm as about 84 in Billerica today, so nice and mild here through the afternoon. Tonight there'll be some patchy fog developing, but it's not going to be all that chilly overnight. Upper 50s to near 60. And you're going to notice the humidity starting to tick up tomorrow, but we're still going to keep it dry. We'll time out when those showers arrive and how long they stick around ahead. Emily?
All right, Cindy, thanks. Right now, a woman is in critical condition after she was found unconscious at the bottom of a hotel pool. This happened at the DoubleTree in Bedford just before 8 o'clock last night. An EMT was at the hotel and pulled the woman out to perform CPR. The victim is said to be 40 years old. No word on how she ended up at the bottom of that pool. New developments in the fight to get Justina Pelletier back with her family. Her father, Lou Pelletier, along with Reverend Patrick Mahoney, will meet with Massachusetts Health and Human Resources today to discuss reuniting Justina with her parents. And her parents lost custody of her in March after a judge ruled they were interfering with her care at Children's Hospital in Boston.
Voters in Massachusetts could soon have a say in expanding the bottle law. Advocates are now pushing to allow the 5-cent return for not only soda and beer containers, but also water bottles and sports drinks. Opponents say the move would drive up consumer costs and increase the cost for retailers who accept the returns. Supporters hope to get the question directly on the November ballot. A study is expected to be released tomorrow, highlighting a growing problem for beaches in the greater Boston area. The study suggests Bay State beaches are in much better condition than they were several years ago, but researchers say more funding and upkeep are required to continue that trend.
Governor Deval Patrick is in Abu Dhabi today as part of his overseas trade mission. He's meeting with economic leaders from the United Arab Emirates to discuss potential business opportunities, and he'll also be meeting with a development company and the U.S. ambassador to the UAE. Now, the governor also recently spent time in Israel. First Lady Michelle Obama visits Boston this afternoon. She'll join House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi for a fundraiser to benefit the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. She's scheduled to be in the city's downtown area this afternoon. President Barack Obama is expected in Boston on the 11th to raise money for Democrats as well.
And at noon, President Obama is taking his strongest action yet against climate change. The White House announced his proposal to cut carbon emissions from power plants by 30% by 2030. The reductions are projected to curb thousands of deaths and asthma attacks in children. States have until 2016 to submit plans to meet the goal. Critics argue the new requirements will kill jobs. The move is estimated to cost over $50 billion a year. So you don't hear the word abdication very often, but today King Juan Carlos of Spain is stepping down. Who will take the throne next?
New questions about the American POW released in Afghanistan, the controversy over how he was captured in the first place.
Well, today's sunshine is nice, but it's got tree and grass pollen running on the high side. We're going to time the arrival of midweek rain that will bring those pollen levels down.
And white bread, most of us grew up on it. Well, new health concerns over 2 or more servings a day. We'll be right back.
New arrest in the Boston Marathon bombing investigation. WCVB NewsCenter 5, first with the breaking news.
Team 5 investigates, reporting
immediate insight.
Made the phone call 40 minutes after the bombing.
And exclusive access from Team 5 investigates.
Only on 5 video, the suspect being brought into Quincy Police Department.
Kathy Couric, Karen Anderson. As new information develops, count on the team that sets the standard for coverage. WCVB NewsCenter 5, Boston's news leader. You're watching NewsCenter 5 at noon.
Spain's King Juan Carlos will step down from the throne. He presented his letter of abdication this morning. His son Felipe will take over as the country's next monarch. 76-year-old Juan Carlos has been king since 1975 and was a hero to many for helping lead a democratic and economic transformation, but his popularity was damaged by several royal scandals. One of the climbers feared dead on Washington's Mount Rainier is now confirmed to be from Massachusetts. Itan Green grew up in the Boston area and attended college in Maine. He works as a guide for a company that organizes climbing tours. He is one of 6 climbers who were last heard from on Wednesday. Park officials believe they fell more than 3,000 feet down the mountain, and crews say conditions are still too dangerous in that area to attempt to recover the bodies.
I want you to know that I love you. But most of all, I'm proud of how much you wanted to help the Afghan people.
High emotion from the family of a U.S. prisoner freed from the Taliban after 5 years. But today, the controversy surrounding this deal is growing. That criticism comes from conflicting accounts about how Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl was captured in the first place. A number of soldiers from his own platoon say he deserted. There's another report he was grabbed from a latrine.
We praise God for your freedom.
After half a decade in the hands of the Taliban, family and friends of Sergeant Bo Bergdahl are overwhelmed.
Bo's coming home, you know, that's what you hear all the time. Just walk around, hear it everywhere.
But some criticize the Obama administration went too far to bring him home, potentially putting others in danger. In a trade, the president released 5 high-risk Taliban fighters from Guantanamo Bay. Senior Republicans say that broke the long-standing U.S. policy of not negotiating with terrorists.
The big issue here is what's going to happen to these 5 individuals. If they re-enter the fight, then it is going to put American lives at risk.
Details of Sergeant Bergdahl's original capture in 2009 have not officially been released, but some who served with him claim he no longer supported his mission and while on duty just walked away without his weapon, in effect deserting. The White House says it had to act now that his health was deteriorating.
We needed to get him out of there, essentially to save his life.
Now, reaction is mixed about the allegation that he deserted. Some say it's unforgivable that soldiers lost their lives searching for him. Others say considering what he endured during captivity, he should suffer no more punishment. Sergeant Bergdahl is said to be in good condition, recovering at a hospital in Germany.
Well, identity theft seems to be everywhere these days, and to protect yourself, you need to think about more than your social security number. Your bank account number is key. Using credit cards rather than checks will help to keep it secure. Driver's license and passport numbers are critical too. Once scammers have those, they can easily forge documents. Also vulnerable, health insurance account numbers. The danger here is that fraudsters can mix or replace their health info with yours. And also, don't list important dates or zip codes on public sites. They'll make it easier for someone to pretend to be you. Take a look at this. Some unexpected guests show up for the game at Dodger Stadium on Sunday right there. Yeah, those are bees buzzing around along the fence. They terrorized some fans briefly, but didn't seem to have too much of an effect on the game. The Dodgers and the Pirates still managed to play ball after getting rid of all of those bees. You can sort of just hear the bzzz.
It's an invasion. It's all that big league chew. They must be blowing too many bubbles or something.
No one was allergic nearby.
Oh, no kidding.
Could have been running in that direction. Exactly.
Bring in the reliever.
I know. Well, ladies, what do we think of June so far, huh?
Love it.
Yeah,
love it. Can it stay this way the whole month?
Nice. Well,
all right.
Maybe a couple
it's worth a try, right?
I mean, this afternoon's going to be nice. And I think this is so nice because we haven't had a lot of warm days this spring, you know, and now meteorologically we're into summertime. And if you count up all the days we've been at or above 80 degrees officially in Boston, we're only up to 3 so far in 2014. We're coming very close out there this afternoon, but that is less than we've had going back the past several years. Back in 2012 at this point, we had already had several days at or above 80 degrees and even a few days at or above 90 degrees. Beautiful sunshine out there now, and we are on our way. 3 more degrees to go, sitting at 77 right now in town. We've got a southerly wind today, keeping that sea breeze away so far anyway. Winds are around 10 miles per hour, and if we can hang on to a wind at or above that speed through the afternoon, we should manage to touch 80 degrees. We're doing that in some spots. Nashua at last check was 80 degrees. We're 78 in Lawrence, 79 up in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Concord as well. Worcester out at the airport, 73 degrees, and even in Plymouth, 77 right now, some lower 70s on Cape Cod. Big area of high pressure just anchored to our south. Notice the absence of clouds all the way up to the Canadian border, and it's the backside of the high that we're getting that warmer wind flow out of the south and west. This is also holding off the next storm system, so you can see how the showers are approaching the Chicago area and not really advancing that much farther to the east. So we are going to be in good shape here through the afternoon. Wanted to show you the bigger picture on satellite because you can see how everything's kind of going up and over us, but also notice that guy right here. Storm sitting well south and east of Nantucket. It is far away, but it's kind of kicked up the seas a little bit. So we have a high surf advisory along our east-facing coastal beaches here through the afternoon, through tonight, and even into early tomorrow morning. And with that higher surf, there's also an enhanced risk of some rip currents. So if you are thinking of sneaking away the beach for a few hours this afternoon, the water temperature is chilly, the surf is up, and be advised there will likely be increased risk for rip currents through the afternoon. But lots of sunshine, so make sure you have, you know, the sunscreen on, even if you're just out and about through the afternoon. Temperatures will keep climbing into the lower 80s in a lot of spots, but right along the coastline and especially the Cape, temperatures holding in the lower 70s. Tonight, not going to be as cool as it's been the past few nights. There'll likely be some patchy fog, about 55 to 60 for overnight lows. And tomorrow is another sunny start, but we'll start to see a few more clouds in the afternoon. And you're going to notice the humidity coming up as well. Temperatures between about 75 and 80 degrees. That front is approaching, and the southerly wind out ahead of it and the southeasterly wind, that's what's bringing up the humidity. But notice the showers and storms through about 5 o'clock tomorrow are off to the west. The Berkshires, the Monadnock region may catch a late-day thunderstorm, but I think the rest of us have to wait until Wednesday before we start to see any shower activity from this storm system, and the showers may be around first thing in the morning hours as well. So it's another warm day tomorrow up near 80. We're still in the lower 70s on Wednesday with some morning showers and then the threat for a thunderstorm in the afternoon, but I don't expect a whole lot of sunshine on Wednesday. And on Thursday, it looks kind of cool and damp. This front is going to slow down as a wave of low pressure develops along it. It may pass just to our south, give us an easterly wind, and keep temperatures kind of stuck in the 60s on Thursday. So a cool, damp one on Thursday should clear things out on Friday. And I know it is only Monday, but if you're thinking about next weekend, maybe you have some plans. Right now, it looks dry and seasonal. Temperatures actually could be close to 80 degrees again by the end of next weekend. So enjoy. ladies.
All right, sounds good, Cindy. Thanks. Former radio host Casey Kasem is in a medical facility in Washington State. The 82-year-old was taken by ambulance on Sunday in the company of his daughter, Carrie. She says her father has lung and bladder infections and is suffering from dementia. She's been in an ongoing legal dispute with her stepmother over his care. In today's Health Alert, concerns about eating white bread.
And sadly, I'm addicted. But yes, turns out 2 or more servings a day could be trouble. A new study tracked 200 college students over 5 years. Some ate white bread, others a combination of white and whole grain, others just the whole grain. Well, those who ate only white bread and had 2 or more portions a day were 40% more likely to gain enough weight to fall under the category of obese.
New research finds speaking 2 languages can have a positive impact on your brain later in life. The study shows being a bilingual speaker may slow down cognitive decline from aging. And the crucial question is whether people improve their cognitive function through learning new languages, or whether those with better baseline cognitive functions are more likely to become bilingual.
Just ahead, a big surprise for a graduating high school student.
That's right. Who showed up to see him walk across the stage?
Kids rule. Next, all new Ellen.
A South Carolina high school student really expecting his graduation to be just another example of the sacrifices that military families make, because Nicholas Schott's dad is a staff sergeant in the Army.
Yeah, that forced him to miss all of his son's football games, wrestling matches, and Nick figured his graduation speech wouldn't be any different, but boy, was he wrong.
I had no idea. They kept it so much a secret from me.
Isn't that great? Staff Sergeant Jamie Schott came home early from his last tour of duty in Kuwait, kept it secret until just the right moment. You saw it there. Appropriately enough, Nicholas Schott was giving a speech on the importance of military families when his dad made that surprise appearance. Then he had to compose himself and go back
finish
to the podium, which is great.
I know, love that story.
Great to see. Okay, so today we're welcoming back Emily, of course, to Boston, but also Channel 5. You've just been sitting back with your feet up, right?
Right, you know, as you do, the mom of 2 children eating bonbons. It has only been a year, but I've been really busy. These are my little guys.
So cute.
JR is 2 and Jack is 3 months, and they are a handful, but I have a lot of help. My husband Kyle helps me out with those guys. So they were up this morning watching the eye opener.
Oh, great.
And,
what a great looking family you have
watching
there.
now before nap time.
I'm sure they are. Well, they're beautiful. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you. Excellent. And a gorgeous day today.
Yes, and now you can go home and enjoy your boys.
Excellent.
Yeah, soak in the rays. Thanks for joining us for NewsCenter 5 at noon.
Keep up with breaking news on wcvb.com, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Honored as the nation's best newscast and for overall excellence. It's why more people watch WCVB NewsCenter 5, Boston's news leader. Emily Reimer, Randy Price, the new Eye Opener, weekdays at 4:30 a.m.